It is perhaps the most emotionally charged place in America. So it's no wonder the opening of the National September 11th Memorial Museum last month sparked such a strong reaction. Much of the uproar centers on the gift shop and the idea that no one should profit from such a terrible event.
I think it's a revenue-generating tourist attraction. Basically, making money off my son's dead body. I think that's disgusting.
Well, it costs an estimated $65 million a year to operate the museum, and revenue from the store helps keep the doors open. The museum's president says many visitors want to bring home a keepsake, and as for those who think the gift shop is a bad idea...
The truth is, this is the United States of America, and the number one thing is, if you don't like what we're selling, don't buy it.
Nice. All right. Well, my next guest has already been to the September 11th Museum more than once. Teresa Mathai's husband, Joseph, was in New York City on business on 9/11 and died in the North Tower of the World Trade Center. Teresa, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Just tell us a little bit about your husband, Joe.
Joseph was 49 on 9/11, and he was at a Windows of the World conference.
Yeah, the restaurant, yeah.
107th floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually called him on that day at exactly 11 minutes past 9. And the first plane had hit, and as I watched, the second plane hit. So that was my last
So you
call.
actually spoke to him?
I spoke to him.
Did he know that the other one had hit?
I don't think he did. And I didn't mention it to him because I assumed they were giving them information, and they talk about evacuation. And
So give me a reaction to both the memorial and the museum and the gift shop. First of all, the memorial itself.
We've been visiting the memorial for many years. In fact, the Massachusetts 9/11 Fund has been taking busloads of local family members to New York to visit the memorial. And it's been a very pleasant experience for families. It's a serene place to go. Earlier, it was cordoned off to the public in general, and people were ticketed and came in, a few at a time. We would make rubbings of our loved one's name. We would place a flower, spend a little quiet time with family. And recently when I went to the memorial, it was a little busy because it's just been open to the public, the cordons are down, and sometimes you have to even wait to approach the plaque where your husband's name is. So it's pretty busy right now that it's just open to the public.
So you don't have the same reaction as some of the people do to the items. There were a number of items that were of questionable taste. There was this search and rescue puppy dog that people found offensive. This is a scarf with the World Trade the towers on it. I think there was also a cheese plate. There it is. They've taken that one out of the museum shop. But there's a couple things remaining that are offensive. But I have to say, you are wearing this beautiful brooch, which I noticed right away when you sat down. Tell people what that is.
Well, these are the blossoms from the Callery pear tree, and that was a survivor tree. On 9/11, it was buried under the rubble, and when they did salvage work, they found this tree, and a few of its branches were still living and vital. So the Bartlett folk revived the tree, they look after it, and they planted it back at ground zero. And they also carried on with program to seed it.
Yeah.
This year, finally, the saplings, they have 450 of them, and they are gifting them to other cities who have experienced tragedy. And we are very pleased that the city of Boston was the first recipient of such a gift. Recently, as recent as May 19th, Mayor Walsh dedicated the sapling that was planted next to the Boston 9/11 Memorial. And this is, I love this brooch, which I got from the museum. It's a symbol of resilience and renewal. So every time I wear it, I think of, it's of hope and renewal. And that's the sort of thing. The museum store has stuff for everyone. I've seen teenagers spend their own pocket money and buy a keychain or a bracelet, a memorial bracelet. Other people have got memoirs, books. Some people might be more interested in the stuffed animals. So there's a variety of gift items that are sold not only at the museum but all over New York. Some are spurious items, some are licensed, and I hope the museum is paying good attention to what the items are, and I think they are hearing feedback from people if specific items are offensive, and I'm glad they're taking notice and looking at it item by item.
Now, in terms of the memorial itself, I mean, what is the most poignant part of it for you? I mean, a lot of people the critics are saying, look, this is the burial site for a lot of people. I know you got your husband's remains back, but a lot of people didn't.
What strikes me about the museum is that it is both amazing and overwhelming at the same time. As a family member, when I go there, I do think about my own personal story and my family and my husband and our lives and how it was affected on that day. But the museum also covers the big picture, the history of 9/11 that leads up to the day, the actual day and the events, without any whitewashing. They've shown salvaged items. They've shown lost and found items from various victims. But they've also followed the individual stories. So it is very humbling to know that we are just one tiny part of that big day, and to know how many families and how the whole nation was affected on that day.
Teresa Mathai, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
I think people now have a better appreciation for this.
Thank you.